So I feel like this is really going to go overlooked. Hopefully it doesn't, because this is actually one of the way more pivotal moments in this show. It's one of the reasons why I love My Hero Academia, because some of the more pivotal moments are during the more calmer moments of the show, meaning there's not a lot of action going on. What's going on, guys? I am the Shooting Star Sheriff, and I am here having more of a discussion about the final episode of My Hero Academia. Also talking about young Shiggy, which is Shigaraki. Shiggy comes from the Smash Tap Reddit, little nickname. And the young Izuku, or Deku. We're going to talk about their kind of relationship as of this moment. I'm not gonna really try and jump into any manga stuff, but I'm going to point out some of the visual cues and just basically how the relationship is and how this is maybe possibly going to grow going forward. So if you are hyped that we're talking about some meat and potatoes, and I'm back for a discussion, guys. I love having these little times where I can just kind of sit in front of the mic and just kind of talk to you guys. Definitely go ahead and hit the like button, and if you are new, definitely consider subscribing, because I do like to talk My Hero. If you guys like more talks like this, I will definitely do more. But just let a guy know, and we will get that done. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. I really wanted to talk about Deku and Shiggy. So I don't know if you guys really noticed this about Shiggy, and this is going back to the first season, but Shiggy is a particularly bored character. I mean, if you think about it, the USJ incident is really the first incident where, he's actually, shown himself, and he's kind of in front of the class, in front of not just All Might, but the class and stuff, and Izuku as well. But throughout that season, it's all about, that first season is about All Might. I want to get rid of All Might. He's a pain in my side. Like, he all he does is stand up for justice and stuff. So the USJ incident happens, which aligns perfectly with like the first opening, which I get to right here in a second. And then it ends with him being annoyed. He's just annoyed. You know what I mean? But that entire season, it's just, I want to get rid of All Might because he's the #1 hero. Like, he's very bored. There's really nothing really driving this character other than the sake of really him just being a villain. And like I said, if I overlook anything, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. I just want to try and get to my point here. So, and then and if you look at the first opening, right? The first opening, the USJ incident is happening, but as it's happening, Deku is running forward. But notice that it kind of aligns with the bottom of his shoe as he's running forward, signifying that Deku is kind of aware that there is a world of villains, but he hasn't yet been exposed to it up until the USJ incident. So he doesn't think too much of Shiggy at this point in time in the series, which is the first season, which does kind of align itself correctly with the USJ incident. This is his first actual involvement with villains, so he just wants to do the hero thing and get rid of the villains, right? So now let's fast forward. Notice that Shiggy is completely absent in the second opening of season 2, the first opening of season 2. So he's completely absent there, but he comes back and he is front and center in front of a whole bunch of villains in the third opening of My Hero Academia. And this is when Izuku and Shigaraki are kind of having a little stare down in the opening. And I think there's a translation for it. Another YouTuber, I think it was Mother's Basement, or it was one of the other guys that broke down the openings. The translation for that moment is saying it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Meaning that these two characters are linked, there is a fate that ties these two characters together, which goes into the discussion that they did have in the final episode. So in the final episode, Izuku is kind of held captive by Shiggy, and they're kind of having a talk about just hero society and just society in general. You know, amongst all these people having a good time, they're just, you know, they're having fun. You know, they're even wearing stain masks, which I is a little questionable. But anyway, they're all having good fun, right? But we've got this high stakes situation where Izuku is being held captive by Shiggy, and they just want to, and Shiggy just wants to talk. So they're talking about, they're basically sharing ideals at this point. Shiggy is talking about, how weak how weak justice is, and how weak, weak, and how much he does not like hero society, and how much it's what we have now is All Might's fault. But it does go back to a very critical crux moment of the season, and it was Stain. It was like, people still talk about Stain. I only met the guy for 2 seconds. He went off the rails during the plan. He did what he wanted. Stain, there was no composer. He was his own composer. He was his own, I guess, he wielded his own fate. You know what I mean? He drove life the way he wanted to. And there are a lot of people who were captivated by that moment, heroes and villains alike. And he's just like, I don't get this. Why is this man still causing an uproar? Why are they still talking about him in news? He's like, I don't get it. And Izuku, they have a little bit of a back and forth. I don't want to get too much into it, because I don't want to take up too much time. It's just a discussion. But Izuku's like, I really don't understand, where you're coming from, because we're on 2 separate sides here. We're playing for 2 different teams. You know what I mean? Oh, that rhymed a little. But he's like, I think it was because Stain had conviction, or something along those lines. Stain had determination. He had a goal. He had something that he wanted to achieve, which Shiggy breaks out into this maybe best creepiest smile of 2017. But this is a realization moment for Shiggy. He has now realized what's the thing that's been driving Stain, but he now realizes that's what gave Stain his life. That's what gave him such an impact on society. It's because Stain had goals. He had motivation. He had determination. He had those things to he had those things to aspire to be. Now, albeit for better or for worse, that's not the point here. The point is that Stain had a conviction. He had something he wanted to achieve, which Shiggy now realizes, and now Shiggy has a goal. Now he has a goal. Like he says as he walks away from Deku after Ochako pops up. He's like, I'm going to show the world how weak your justice really is, or how fragile your justice really is, whichever way you want to take it. But that does align with the third opening, with Izuku and Shigaraki staring each other down, or they make it look like they're looking at each other, saying it's inevitable, meaning this is the second time these two have met. First at USJ, now at the mall, face to face. Well, not really face to face, face to hand. I mean, on his neck, whatever you want to call it. But that's basically where it's going. So it's definitely leading up to Shiggy taking a minor interest in Deku in season 1, becoming way more interested in him in season 2, and now these two have unofficially kind of made each other like sworn enemies now. With this going forward. So that's where I guys want to just leave you guys off here. These two characters, this was definitely a pivotal moment for Shiggy. Hopefully a lot of people watched that episode and did not overlook that. If you did, or if you liked anything I had to say, or if I missed anything, definitely leave that in the comment section below, because I definitely want to just open this up for you guys to talk as well amongst each other. This is for the not manga, but this is strictly for the anime. I don't want to really spoil anything for the manga. I try my best not to, even though I do read it. So definitely just try and be considerate, even though somebody's probably going to do it anyway. I just wanted to say that anyway, so we'll see. But without further ado, you guys, I'm going to get up out of here. Definitely consider subscribing yet again if you are new here, or if you like this, because I love talking to you guys. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.